Hey, how are you today? Nice to see you. Welcome to English Bus Lessons. My name is Wayne and I am going to be with you today teaching. We're going to learn today and study today. Now, the first thing is your book. Do you have your book ready? It's American School Textbook, Vocabulary Key, Grade 3. Wow, and we're starting the first unit, unit number 1, on page 10. Great. So, let's take a deep breath and get ready. Today's title is Laws and Rules. Laws and Rules. Now, what are laws and what are rules? Laws and rules are very similar, almost the same. But I'm going to grab my chalk and I'm going to show you. Rules, there are many rules. In your home, there are rules. Maybe your mother and father or your friends, they say, don't play computer games for 3 hours. Or so that's one rule. Play for a short time. Another rule in your home, your clothing. At night, when you go to sleep, don't throw your clothing on the floor. That's a second rule. And there's many rules. Now, how about if you're walking down the street and you want to cross the street? Yeah, you should cross at the light and look both ways. That's another rule. So there are many rules. Rules are kind of small things we have to do. Something more serious and bigger are laws. That's what the police protect. That's what the police will try to control. And the government says you must do or must not do. For example, what's one law? Can you think of a law? Now, if somebody is driving a car and maybe the speed limit is 50 kilometers per hour, that's the speed limit. Speed limit. You can't drive faster than that. That's a law. It is a rule. Yes, it's a rule, but it's a very strong rule that's enforced by the police. So we say it's a law. Other laws, you can't steal money. That's a very good law. You can't fight and hit people. No, you shouldn't do that. That's another law. There's many laws. And why do we have laws? To protect us and make a better community, a better society, a better place to live. So today we're going to talk mostly about laws, okay? Rules, there's many rules. We're going to talk about laws. Now, I'm going to show you this picture. Now, this picture, do you know where this is? Is this a restaurant or is it a library? What is it? Actually, it's called a courtroom. And in your book, on number 1, word number 1 is court. This is a courtroom. Now, in the courtroom, that's where a lot of people come and they discuss the laws because maybe somebody, I'm going to erase this board, somebody has broken the law. Here's what we say in English. Break the law. Yeah, break the law. Maybe somebody has broken the law. So what happens? Yeah, they go to the courtroom and they discuss it. And they decide if that person or 2 people, 3 people, if they broke the law or not. And one example is a thief, a robber. You know, did he really steal the money? They go to court and they talk about it and they try to prove it. Okay? So that's the situation. So for today, let's think that there's a robber. A robber went into somebody's house, stole some earrings and necklace and gold rings and money, stole things, okay? The police catch the robber. Okay, they have the robber. The robber is in jail, held in jail, and then next they go to the court. Okay. So let's talk about the people. Who are the people that are in the courtroom? Now, word number 2 is judge, is the judge. That's the person that is sitting at the big bench. The judge, he or she, they control the court. They control everything. and they decide what happens and what doesn't happen. So there's the judge. Yeah. And often, I'll show you this picture. Many times the judge will have this, and it's like it's called a little gravel there, and then bang, bang, bang. If the courtroom gets noisy and they're not listening, bang, bang, bang. Pay attention, be quiet. So the judge will use that. So the judge is one person. Now, the other person, the thief or the robber, defendant. Now, and that's word number 5. This is the thief or the robber, the person who broke the law. And they are going to try to tell the court, no, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I'm innocent. That's what they'll try to do. Okay, the defendant. So, and then after that, there's a judge. The judge is listening and controlling. But in America and Canada and Western countries, it's not always the judge that decides, yes, you did, or no, you didn't. It's not always the judge. There's something called the jury. The jury. Usually, there's many people in the jury. They are the people who listen. They listen to the court evidence. They listen to the case. And maybe it's for 1 day or 1 month they have to listen. And then later they decide if the defendant did steal the money or not. So here on the side, it's going to be on the side, there's people sitting on the bench and they are listening. They are called the jury. Maybe there's 12 people or maybe there's 14 people. So, and they're listening to the defendant, they are listening to people, and they will decide if the thief stole the money or not. The woman in this picture standing up, she's called a lawyer. She's a lawyer. And in the courtroom, there's always 2 lawyers. There's always 2 lawyers. And one lawyer is called it's not on your book here, but I'm going to write it here. Prosecution. That's one lawyer. And he or she will try to say, yes, he stole the money. Yes, he did. So that's the prosecution lawyer. The other one to help the defendant is called the defense lawyer. And I'm going to use an SC style for this spelling, okay? Defense lawyer. So there's 2 lawyers in the court. There's 2 lawyers. So who do we have so far in the court? There's the judge. The judge is controlling the courtroom. There's the defendant. That's the thief, the robber, the person who broke the rules, okay? Now, there's also the jury. There's 12 people, 10 people, 14 people. They're sitting and they're listening. And later, they are the ones that'll decide if the person did the crime. Okay? And there's 2 lawyers. One is the defense lawyer, helping the defendant, helping the thief, the robber maybe, or the prosecution lawyer. And the prosecution lawyer will try to say, yes, he or she or the robber did steal the money. Okay. So that's who we have so far. And words number 6 and 7, words number 6 and 7 are legal and illegal. Legal means, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can. It's no problem. It's not breaking the law. It's good. Legal is okay. But illegal, meaning not legal. Illegal means you can't do it. You can't steal money. You can't drive your car very, very fast. You can't kill somebody. That's illegal. You cannot do it. Now, after the court has listened to all the information, the jury will tell the judge and say, yes, the person is guilty. He did steal the money. Guilty. Did something wrong. Did something bad. Or not guilty. Not guilty is innocent. Innocent. Not guilty. Didn't do something wrong. Didn't do something wrong. So there. Today we're going to talk about courtrooms. It's actually very interesting. There's many TV shows. There's many TV shows that have court cases and stuff. So I'm sure you've seen them many times. But now, if you watch TV, watch a movie with the courtroom, you know the names of the people. And you can say, there's the defendant. Yeah, that's the defense lawyer. There's the judge. And so on. Okay, so that's a good start. Now, in one moment, we're going to use power verbs and we're going to try to make sentences. Okay, now let's look at some power verbs and try to make sentences with the keywords, okay? On page 11, let's look at some of these. Now, before I told you about breaking the law, doing something wrong, breaking the law, okay? And yeah, many people break the law. Maybe they steal something, or maybe they have a fight, or drive their car too fast, I told you. So that's called break the law. They didn't follow the law. And many criminals, many people do that, unfortunately. Now, what everybody should do is obey the law. That's the next power verb, is obey the law. You and me and everybody, we should obey the law, follow the law, and do what the police want, because it's good for us. So everybody should obey the law and don't commit a crime. Now, sometimes another power verb is to sue. This is very difficult. This is a difficult word. Now, for example, let's say maybe, I'm walking down the street and then some robber tries to steal my money and he hits me. My eyes are black. My arm is broken. I feel terrible. The police catch the robber. Now, the robber will go to jail. But maybe also, I hurt really bad, so I can get more money. I can get money from the robber, maybe. I can tell the police and tell the judge, I want to go to court. And actually have a lawsuit. And I want to punish the thief and the robber because he was hitting me. Another example is two cars driving and one car didn't obey the law. There's a red light, you should stop. No, the car didn't stop, goes and have an accident and my neck really hurts. You have to give me money because you hurt my neck. I will sue you. Means you made a big mistake. Yeah, you will pay for my car, but I want you to pay some money for my pain. So that's called suing somebody. I will sue you. We go to court. There's a defense lawyer. There's a prosecution lawyer. My lawyer is the prosecution lawyer. And together we try to get money from the other car because they did something wrong. They hurt me. That's called suing. That's hard to say. Now let me get my eraser. Okay. Next power verb is to accuse. Accuse. It's a verb to say somebody did something wrong. Yeah. So maybe at home you have a lot of chocolate in your room. It's in your desk. But you open your desk, the chocolate's gone. Maybe your brother or sister took the chocolate and you go to your brother, you took my chocolate, didn't you? So saying somebody did something wrong is accuse. You took my chocolate. That's accuse. And there's many ways of accusing. Let's say your teacher says, you didn't do your homework, did you? That's accuse. The teacher said you didn't do your homework. And that happens very often. But you have to be careful because sometimes the people are innocent. They didn't do it wrong. Another power verb is to prosecute. And again, that's the lawyer that's the lawyer in the court, or the lawyers together, they try to they accuse a criminal of doing something wrong. They accuse somebody that they broke the law. Yeah, you stole the money, or you killed that person, or you caused the problem. So the prosecution, that's the people, that's the lawyers together sometimes, and they actually accuse the defendant. All right. See, now we're getting good with actually English sentences. The next power verb is to commit. Commit. Now, commit. Commit is like a crime. You know crime? Crime is the thing, the law that was broken. That's the law that was broken, the crime. In English, we don't say do a crime. We always say to commit. Commit I'll put an in there too. Commit a crime. Not do a crime, it's commit a crime. Because the meaning of commit is something that you cannot change. You did it, you can't change it. That's commit. Commit a crime. Commit a robbery. Robbery, stealing something, okay? So there, that's another one. Now, if the jury in the court, they say, the defendant, yes, you're guilty, then next, what happens? Punishment. They have to punish the robber. So maybe the robber will go to jail, go to prison for 1 year, 5 years, sometimes 20, 25 years. That's punishment. Punishment. Now, a small punishment for you is, maybe you didn't do your homework. You didn't do your homework. So your mother and father are angry. They're angry at you. So what do? They say, no computer games for 1 week. That's your punishment because you didn't do your homework. There. And there's many, many, many styles of punishment as well. I'll show you one picture of a very, very strong punishment, an old punishment. Do you see this man? He's in jail. This is an old jail. And his hands are together, they're handcuffed, and he looks really in bad situation, really terrible. This is an old punishment. Some countries still do this, but usually not anymore. Yeah, the punishments are not body punishments. They're not physical punishments anymore. And we're going to talk a little bit more about punishments next in the next section here. So there's a few more things. Now, please try the power verbs. You try them and make sentences with the keywords, okay? In one moment, we're going to look at word families. Okay, next, let's look at some word families on page 11. The first one is sentence, sentence. Now, that does not mean a sentence, like, hello, how are you today? That's not a sentence. A sentence is the decision. Yeah, the decision. What did the jury... the jury, in the court, the jury usually says, yes, you're guilty, or no, you're innocent, it's okay. But if the jury says the defendant is guilty, he broke the law, then the judge makes a decision and gives a sentence. Now, what the sentence is the punishment, to go to jail for 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, go to jail. Or sometimes the sentence is to pay money, a lot of money. There's many, many styles of punishment, but the sentence is the punishment. That's the punishment. The judge will say, yeah, okay, you're guilty. You have to be punished. That's the sentence. Usually they go to jail. They go to jail for a long time. Now, the sentence, if they go to jail, the term maybe is 5 years. The term is how long, how much time the prisoner stays in jail, the criminal stays in jail. That's the term. So some sentences are 1 year term or 6 months term, a life term, which is 20 to 25 years. That's a term. And the other word family is prosecution. Who's the prosecution? I told you. Yeah, that's the lawyer who tries to accuse the prisoner or the defendant and says, you're guilty. Now, the opposite, who's the lawyer that tries to help the defendant? Who? It's the defense lawyer. So there's two lawyers there. And the prosecutor, the prosecutor is kind of with the prosecution. Yeah, they're kind of a high-level people, the high-level boss for the law. Now, word family, kinds of punishment. Let's look at this. Sometimes it's a fine, which means money. The fine is money. You have to pay $1,000. Or sometimes a company is accused. You have to pay $5 million. That's big money, yeah. Or sometimes it's a jail term. The punishment is jail term. You go to jail for maybe 5 years, 10 years, 7 years, or 3 months, or 1 week, or something. Another style is community service. If somebody broke the law in a small way, committed a small crime, sometimes going to jail is very, very expensive. So what they do sometimes is you have to help the community. Go out and clean the garbage off the street or something. You have to help the community in some fashion, some style. That's actually a good one too. And sometimes they give a suspended prison sentence. Suspended prison sentence. It means you don't go to jail now. At a later time, you will go to jail. There's a special situation for that. So you don't go to jail immediately. And a lifetime prison sentence, if you kill somebody, yeah, that's very serious, very serious. You go to prison for almost the rest of your life. But it says a lifetime, let me get my eraser. It says a lifetime sentence, but usually the lifetime sentence is about 20 years or maybe 25 years. That's what they call a lifetime sentence. It doesn't really mean all your life. It doesn't always really mean that. And the last one, the most serious, is the death penalty. Some places have the death penalty. Canada, I'm from Canada, we do not have the death penalty anymore. So if a criminal kills somebody, the judge and the court, they don't kill the criminal. They don't do that anymore. But in America, some places they still do. And very quickly, word families, kinds of courts. There's different kinds of courts. Some are the municipal court for the small area in your home. There's a tax court because some companies or some people, they don't pay the money to the government. They don't pay taxes. Appeals court is to try the court again. Try it again. Because sometimes you have two chances. You have two chances. So sometimes they go to the appeals court. Superior court is the highest level court. It's the most serious, the most important court in the country. Family court, sometimes a mother and father, they're arguing, they're fighting, they go to court sometimes too. And the Supreme Court too. Yes, the Supreme Court, Superior Court, they're very, very high level. Okay, so there's some word families for you, and think about them again. Now in 1 minute, we're going to do some reading together, which is my favorite thing. Okay, now let's try reading the story on page 13. And the title is The Jury System. Now this is very interesting, so let's try to read together. Most criminal cases in the United States are done in a trial by jury. Jury trials are an important part of the justice system. A jury is made up of regular citizens. There are two kinds of juries, a grand jury and a petite jury. A grand jury has between 12 and 23 members. The prosecutor presents his or her evidence to the grand jury. Then the grand jury decides if there is enough evidence to have a trial. If the jury says yes, then there will be a trial. If the jury says no, there will be no trial. A petite jury is also called a trial jury. This jury has usually 12 members. The members listen to actual court cases. They hear all the evidence. Then at the end of the trial, they must make a decision. They decide if the defendant is innocent or guilty. Okay, great. So please try that reading again. You do it yourself. The word petite, that's an old French word meaning small, small. Grand is big and impressive. Petite or petite is small. It's a small thing, okay? So there are many types of juries. There's many types of court cases. And it's very, very complicated. It depends on which country you're in and where you are. There's a different system. Canada and America don't have the same system. They have a different system. All right, that was really good on Unit 1. Now let's do a summary before we go away, okay? So come over here. Let's very quickly summarize and talk about what we studied today. We're talking about courts in the USA mostly. Now, what is a court? If somebody or some company breaks the law, they go to court and they decide, are you guilty, make a mistake, or not guilty, innocent, right? Now the judge, usually the judge controls the courtroom. That's what the judge will do. And later, the judge will give a sentence. Remember sentence? How long or what the punishment is. The jury, well, as we heard in the story, there could be a big jury or a small jury. They are the members that listen, and they are the ones that decide, yes, you're guilty. No, you're not guilty. You're innocent. Okay? The lawyers, there's usually two lawyers, the prosecution and defense. The defendant is usually the person or a company, sometimes a company, and they are saying, no, we're not guilty. We didn't do anything wrong. That's the defendant. Legal, you can do it. It's okay. No problem. Not breaking the law. Illegal, bad. You've broken the law. Not allowed to do it. And punishment, there's many, many types of punishment. There's the fines. There's the death penalty. Yeah. There's a term sentence or suspended sentence. Different types of punishment. Guilty, yes, you or they did something wrong. Innocent, didn't do anything wrong. Okay. So what I hope that you do is go back, try the exercises, look at the things in the book, and see if you can understand it a little more. Make some sentences. That's the most important thing. All right, thanks very, very much for coming here and working with me on Unit 1. And please come back and see me again on Unit 2. All right, study hard and have a great day. Bye-bye.